Who doesn't love Bayonetta? You do. Shut up. It's such a fun, breezy and cool hack and slash, and I put so many hours on all these games I've lost count, so give me more Bayonetta and you make me a happy guy. But I feel someone might have taken me too literally there, because the last thing I'd imagined the Bayonetta IP to be turned into is a watercolor isometric Metroidvania where you control baby-netta, when she was a young and inexperienced witch who could kill nothing at all except my Nintendo Switch's frame rate. So I'm safely guessing no one played this game. You haven't. Shut up. So to the absolutely insane guys at Platinum Games, I can only say, well done, you get my praise. Whoa. Call me John Fitzgerald Kennedy on the morning of the 22nd of November 1963, cause I was surprised to death. Cerise and the Lost Demon is as far from a Bayonetta game as you can get, the only similarity being the presence of that potion crafting thing, and just like for the main games, I completely ignored it and forgot it existed the moment they introduced it. This is a whimsical, cheerful and sometimes dark fable, and it commits to its design down to a T. You've got the colorful art design and this magnificent soundtrack that bring to life this mysterious forest you have to explore, as the story is presented with these turning pages narrated by an old grandma. And whenever she has to voice the big cat demon, she goes all like this, making a scary voice.
What was the point of saving these things again?
You gotta love that stuff. With this setup, I can't really fault the game for having a very simple narrative structure. You know, like a fable. You've got little Ceresita desperately trying to find a way to get back her VHS of an old action comedy movie from the 90s.
Mummy? 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 I'm coming, Mummy!
And when she inevitably gets in trouble, she fails to summon a demon properly and instead traps him inside her stuffed toy, showing that she was an absolute failure at this since a young age. Alright, so last year I've simped more than enough for Olachi. This year my best boy award goes to Cheshire. This giant asshole Pikachu constantly butts head with Cereza from the get-go, but the two are forced to join forces, else Cheshire will never be able to go back to Inferno and Cereza will be immediately captured by this game's enemies. And no, they're not angels, nor demons, nor whatever those white blobby things from Bayonetta 3 were. This time it's cute squeaky fairies, and there's so many of these things. They even got the rights on Mr. Banana here. I think I got introduced to a new kind every 6 minutes, but really there's just two of them. The ones you can just hit, and the flying morons you need to bring down before getting back to business as usual. It's really that mindless. You control Cereza and Cheshire at the same time, except all Cereza can do is try not to be eaten and sometimes getting a participation award for slowing down enemies, while Cheshire just does the same 3-hit combo over and over, and if you don't believe me, here's the average Bayonetta Origins fight for at least half the game. It takes a bit before more flavor is added to the formula, and that consists in evolving Demon Pikachu into other elemental forms, and even then it's not really that much better. Enemy has a shield, Bulbasaur 4 will take it off. That guy has a stone shield, use Geodude to break it. Ice shield, bring up Charizard. Fire shield, Squirtle, you get it. It's a false sense of variety, but what it really boils down to is that now you have to press the R button before going back to spamming ZR. Alright, pack it up, game's crap.
Why don't you flock off already?
Ooh, alright. But yeah, she's right, we barely scraped the surface here. Yeah, the combat is mindless button smashing, but a good chunk of this game is the exploration, and that's by far the best part, with this massive forest full of secret passages and areas you can only traverse by using Pikachu's and Cereza's power in conjunction, and this is where some of the Pokemon powers from before have an actual purpose. Like, Cereza can't swim, so you send Cheshire and he goes brrrr. I love that! These various sections never overstay their welcome, and they're even more pleasant to play when you look at how beautiful the various areas are. Although I might be a bit biased here. You bring me the amusement park from Nier Automata, I hit like and subscribe. Speaking of... However, I wouldn't have complained if the actual level design was half intelligible, since I haven't felt such a mental whiplash since I've seen that Blighttown to Firelink Shrine shortcut in Dark Souls 1. And the bright and samey colors didn't help either, since they tend to make most sections look very similar. But maybe it's not my place to say these things, being colorblind and all that. But I can totally see the passion behind this project. You rarely get such a dramatic change injected into an established IP without witnessing to a complete train wreck. And there's all the little details and quirks, like how Cereza dances or feeds Cheshire to level up. The animation of her being dragged around by Demon Pikachu when he's in its toy form, or the music of the skill tree sections becoming gradually more complex as you progress through the game. And all this for whom exactly? Who did they make it for? Except for Bayonetta lore fanatics who somehow think this series has a lore worth studying. Who's gonna buy this? Except for you, right now. It's not tailored for fans of the main games, and not just because of the different genre, but also because of its totally baby mode difficulty. Dying in this game is a genuine challenge until you get to the final boss, to the point I had to get myself killed on purpose just to record the game over screen, and aww. They even put a small bad ending description for those. The Automata reference. But I can't believe Nintendo genuinely wants to market this to children either, unless their master plan didn't account for the fact that little 7-year-old Timmy will finish this game and ask Mommy Dearest to buy him the other Bayonetta games, only to find out that the little girl from his favorite game is now fingering motorcycles to turn them on. And that's why I decided to make this review. Not because Bayonetta Origins is a masterpiece, but because it doesn't deserve to be forgotten. Else we will never get the sequel, Bayonetta Origins, and those days in the Mafia. The gameplay might be flawed, and the story is a giant cliché, yet in its simplicity it manages to be fun and earnest, and the final section manages to create a family-friendly version of the high-octane sequences from the other Bayonetta games, while also coming up with plot twists that for once are not pulled out of a donkey's ass. And let me be honest here, in a sea of games that pretend to be smarter than what they really are, or promise more than what they can actually deliver, isn't it better sometimes to prefer a game that is just simple and a bit heartfelt?
Let me see what spring is like on Jupiter and Mars. In other words,